Well, it is a very real danger for people of any age, but falling can be deadly for older adults. Now, even the spry 52-year-old actress Delta Burke just hurt her back when she fell in the bathtub. At Heather Gardens Retirement Community in Aurora, many residents try to stay active, even taking daily walks. But still, one woman said several people in her building have fallen and they've had to be taken to the hospital. And her neighbors, Irv and Dottie Ruppel, well, they found out firsthand when Dottie slipped and fell trying to get out of the bathtub.
Well, I had to get over on all fours, you know, my hands and knees to get up. And as I started to get up, my hands slipped and I just darn near went back down flat into the tub. Well, that just scared me to death. So about that time, Irv, thank goodness, was coming down the hall and he helped me get out.
Yes, I've had a lot of friends that have fallen. And, you know, they end up with hip replacements and all sorts of things, and I don't want to do that.
Friend of his,
it's a pretty scary situation. The Ruppels and Phyllis have all taken steps to avoid potential household hazards like having carpet instead of slippery hardwood floors, or installing walk-in bathtubs and putting those handles on the walls in the shower. Some really important steps they can take.
You know, I want to mention that we do have an expert here who actually deals in those walk-in tubs. Today, he's not here to really market those tubs, but he's also an attorney, and he has taken up the cause of elderly advocacy on helping the elderly be more independent. He has a personal story about what happened with his parents, and with mine too. You know, it was just a fall that changed my mom's entire life. One fall. It's amazing the difference between freedom and being in a nursing home or in a medical facility. Sometimes it's so simple. It's just a fall.
Absolutely.
Blink of an eye.
George Bentley, thank you so much for joining
George
us this
Bentley,
morning.
and the name of your company, we should say, is Bentley.
Bentley Baths.
Bentley Baths.
Bentley Baths.
Thank you.
You have become an expert on this, and it was you kind of got into it with your own personal story back in 2002. Your mom took a fall, right?
That's exactly right, and I was just like everybody else. I thought my mom and dad were safe. Put a stool in the tub for my mom and some grab bars, and she's good. But then I got a call, and she'd actually fallen, and she broke her hip. And we went through what we now perceive to be an epidemic in the United States, and my mom deteriorated very rapidly medically after that injury. It wasn't the hip problem that really caused her, but everything else became compromised. She had a lot of other problems. Within a year, we'd lost her in a nursing home.
Now, every 18 seconds, someone over 65 falls and injures themselves.
I mean, think about it.
This
is the Center for Disease Control, all right? And we have 1.8 million Americans fall over the age of 65, fall and injure themselves every year. 16,000 of those individuals die from those injuries as a result of those injuries. If you extrapolate that, as you did at the start of the show, that means that in a 1 hour period, we've got 200 people injuring themselves and 2 people that will actually die from those injuries.
In a 1 hour period.
In a 1 hour period.
Now, look at what we went through when we had the swine flu. People going crazy over that. But look at this stat compared to that. Look at the many people affected by slipping and falling, and it can all change. You can really prevent it. And I know we have a lot of viewers. Well, we have viewers who are elderly, but we have viewers who have elderly parents.
Absolutely.
Cousins, aunts, uncles, loved ones.
And they're not just falling. You were saying, George, that most of them fall in the bathroom or in the bathtub, right? That's
the
generally
bathroom,
the biggest part.
Statistically, really is the most dangerous room in the house. That's why we focus on bathing technologies. The bathroom just is not designed for us as we grow and we age and we become weaker, less stable. It's a natural process. And if we stay in denial, which a lot of people tend to do, then we look at that bathroom and we never expect it to change. And so, as Ms. Bennett was talking about, and also Ms. Ruppel, we then try to accommodate our bathroom by getting down on all fours, climbing in, climbing out.
Right.
And this walk-in technology is stellar. It really
and I
is.
want to talk about that too, some more about the modifications. But first, we're going to have to take a break, gentlemen.
Sure.
We'll be right back, but we're going to talk about some modifications you can make to your bathroom for your elderly parents when we come back.
And how to make your home safer too. We'll talk some general tips. Give us a call if you have any questions. 303-771-HELP.
And welcome back to Martino TV. We're talking with George Bentley of Bentley Baths. He's an attorney, also a senior advocate. Thank you so much for answering a lot of questions for us. And Tom, you really wanted to talk about
Some
modifying
tips.
the house.
Sure.
I'd like you to give some tips on how to make the house safer.
Okay.
Now, I know you do walk-in baths, and you're going to be on to promote those later on, and it's a great product, believe me. But what other things can people do in their home?
Well, just keep in mind the bath and the walk-in bath issue is just the tip of the iceberg.
Right.
It's really just the most critical thing to deal with. In the bathroom alone, there are 7 factors that lead to injury that are in the normal bathroom. Towel bars. Do not have a towel bar in your bathroom. They are not designed to hold you up. If we are unstable and we're falling, we're going to look for something to brace ourselves. And if that is not engineered and designed for that purpose, it's going to fail.
So grab bars.
Grab bars.
Okay.
And no towel bars, no things that will not hold up your body weight. Look at the floor material. We want non-slip flooring in there. In the whole house for that matter. We want good lighting. We're certified aging and place specialists, and all that means is we're basically trained to look at the entire house and where are the risk factors for somebody that's living in that home and primarily wants to stay there for the rest of their life. So there are lighting issues, there's transition issues between one level in the home and another.
I would think rugs are also another thing, because I'm always myself, I'm kind of klutzy tripping over rugs. But for an elderly person,
You mean like area rugs or just
area
runners,
rugs, bathroom
runners?
rugs in the bathroom, you know, lots of things that people
they be a
accessorize
problem?
with.
They
seem
are.
like,
They're one of the 7 factors. In
Okay.
fact, you know, the bottom line when I did all this research, a lot of the things that we do to make our homes safer actually make them more dangerous if we're unstable. And if we're over 65, we're getting less stable.
Now we have to wrap up, but you have a screaming deal, and this is really good. A free fall assessment. In other words, tips on how to make the house safer for the first 10 callers.
Yep.
Okay, and they call Bentley Baths. And George Bentley, an honorable man, and you know what? You can trust him for advice. He's not a high-pressure salesperson. There is no obligation. 303-388-8887. This is like a personal, you know, I don't know.
It's a complete home evaluation. We'll take a look at the home and give them free feedback as to what they can do to make their home safer.
it's a great value. Thank you so much, George. Appreciate
You're
it. We'll
welcome.
be right
Thank you.
back.
All right, you know, last week we talked about the epidemic of older Americans falling and hurting themselves. What do we mean, older Americans? We're talking about our moms and dads, our aunts and our uncles. You know, during Martino TV alone, 200 seniors will fall and get hurt. And again, we're talking about our mothers and our fathers and our aunts and our uncles. You know, it doesn't have to happen. The house can be a safer place. And I got to tell you, after researching this, after meeting George Bentley from Bentley Baths, I did a little research. And George, you know, we have to hear from this person, and then I'm going to ask you about this because this is incredible. They're called walk-in tubs.
In and out. I've always been afraid of slippery, of falling and breaking a hip or something. And when you, in your older years, you need some protection. You really do.
I have had 5 back surgeries. I have trouble with my feet and ankles, and it has made a world of difference.
And I couldn't do without my Bentley walk-in bathtub. You sort of have to let this soak in.
Okay, George Bentley is with us, the founder of Bentley Baths. Now, Bentley Baths, those baths you've seen there, the walk-in baths, because the research I did said that the most dangerous place in the house is the bathroom, and most accidents happen getting in and out of the tub.
Absolutely true.
And sometimes that tub is the only reason a person goes to a nursing home.
Well, that's exactly right, and that's what happened with my mom. So we got to the point she couldn't bathe safely, and that's what drove her into the nursing home.
That's incredible. So that's how you got started.
That's exactly right.
And you're an attorney, I should mention. You got started because you were advocating.
I say nice
here.
things about you.
Okay, go ahead. So tell us about that.
Well, I had to help my dad.
Yeah.
That was actually my dad. There, a little clip of him, and he wanted to stay at home. And what I learned when I started researching this is, if we go into a nursing home, they are going to have bathing technologies, no matter what our mobility issues are.
Yeah.
But most Americans right now want to stay in their home for the rest of their life. That was my dad. He said, I won't go into that nursing home like my wife did. So I had to help him make his home safe. So we're going to need help at some point, and it's going to be sooner or later.
You know, I want to mention something. If someone told you you have to go into a nursing home because you have a set of stairs, a flight of stairs, and you can't do stairs, you would say, okay, I'm going to get a place with no stairs,
Right.
or I'm going to get,
a lift.
Okay.
Right, exactly.
Well, now if people say you can't stay home because you can't bathe yourself, that's ridiculous. And you have actually had people who were facing nursing homes, and because of your walk-in bath, what happened?
They modified their home. They made it safe. They're living there healthily and safely. We have a lady that's even several customers that are wheelchair bound. And it depends on your unique mobility issues. There are appliances out there that will make that bathroom safe for you.
So a walk-in tub is exactly what it sounds like. Yep. Explain the technology. What is it? A door, a leak-proof door?
Well, it's more complicated than it sounds like. And like Will Rogers said, it's not what we don't know that hurts us. It's what we know that ain't right that hurts us. And we think we know what bathrooms are and how they function. But really what we want to do is create a deep soaking environment with a door that permits easy entry. We don't have to climb over a threshold. We're also stable when we get in that environment. When people get to the point they don't think they can bathe in a bathtub anymore, they go to showers. Well, showers are actually more dangerous.
Oh, yes.
So as you see here, this is Ms. Walker getting into her appliance. She's going to be completely stable in that when she sits down. She can't fall.
And it's a deep soaking environment, as you said, so she doesn't have to lay down.
Correct.
And she can fill it up quite high, and it's kind of like a hot tub with a door, but much more, because you have sanitary conditions. You don't have any jets to get clogged up. What else?
Well, this is the way we're all going to bathe in the future. Nobody's going to climb over a wall and lay down on the floor to take a bath.
There's no reason to.
Right. This is new technology in the United States. When we add medical hydrotherapy, you're seeing a process here.
Oh, that's
it
good.
truly is life-altering. For all these conditions that we refer to in the United States as degenerative or age-related, which is everything we deal with as we age, medical hydrotherapy will really help manage those issues and sometimes slow down the progression.
You brought up a good point. You shouldn't have to wait until you absolutely can't climb over a tub. There's nothing wrong with preparing to be in your home. Prepare for it.
That's absolutely right.
And sometimes when you're in your 50s or 60s, you can prepare for it easier because you have money coming in, more so than you may later on.
That's right. And you opened with this epidemic. Why do we have an epidemic? Because we wait until something happens before we realize that we're less stable and we have issues. People literally get to the point that they hurt themselves, like my mom, and then they realize, oh, wait a minute, maybe I'm not as stable as I used to be.
Okay, so walk-in baths, we may have said to people, yeah, they can see it, but why Bentley? Why Bentley, George Bentley?
Well, first of all, we're the nation's leading experts. I know every manufacturer. I've been to the factories. I know the resellers. Go on the internet and Google walk-in bathtubs and back away from your computer. It's kind of like the Wild West out there. I liken it to the aluminum siding days when new technology is coming into the marketplace. We specialize in analyzing what each individual customer needs for their unique mobility issues. We then analyze what their health issues are. We have a nurse on staff. We're showing here we actually custom jet each appliance for the individual. We build it to their specifications, and then our nurse will go out and we'll work with them in our hydrotherapy program, and that's where we get these truly life-altering health benefits. We really consider ourselves more on the health side than the safety side at this point.
And as I mentioned before, because this is drained every time you use it, it's not like a hot tub. You don't have to worry about chemicals.
Yep.
You don't have to worry about the water because you just fill it up every time with new water. So it's not like a hot tub in that regard.
Well, we've actually trademarked what we call Bentley Medical Hydrotherapy, and this is so sanitary, medically appropriate. We don't have a single customer to date that their doctor won't prescribe it for them. And when their doctor prescribes it for them, then what we're saying is this really is a medically appropriate process for people.
And by the way, you have a special here. Any viewers who call get a free in-home assessment. Now, that's not just the bathroom. Explain what you do as an expert.
Well, we're certified aging in place specialists. We're not salespeople. Our consultants are advocates, and they're trained to go into the home and analyze what the risk factors are throughout the entire house and help you determine what you might be needing to do to help make that a little bit safer.
So if you have an elderly relative, a mom, a dad, an aunt and uncle, a cousin, you can call for them too and help them with this free assessment. They'll get a full report on what should be done, little recommendations on what should be done in that home, not just the bathroom. Now that's for the first 10 callers. They will get what for the first 10 callers?
Well, let me clarify, and I think I decided to do something really special.
Even more.
I did. I talked to our management team, and what we decided to do is anybody that calls in and says they heard about us on Martino TV, we will do that free assessment for them. But for the first 10, and only the first 10 who call in and say they heard us today,
right,
then we will actually put them into our medical hydrotherapy program. We will provide them the 12 weeks of nurse-supervised programming there, and whatever equipment they need for their hydrotherapy process. That can range from $500 to $2,000 in value. We'll do that for free.
Wow. So they get a free in-home assessment, anyone. The first 10 callers to receive this will get, if they buy a tub, they'll get, in addition to the walk-in Bentley bath, they will get free hydrotherapy program and equipment.
And we can only do that for 10 people, but the assessment's a no-brainer. I mean, if you're just curious, you ought to call and find out
because there's no obligation. You're not going to try to sell them anything, and you are qualified and certified to do that.
Absolutely.
So you can call them, and it is 303-388-8887, Bentley Baths. And we have a break coming up. We have a lot more. Keep your calls coming. I'll try to get to your phone calls, 303-771-HELP. And you can ask about Bentley Baths if you would like, or about roofing, or anything you've heard on the show.